Hi guys. So this is Tuesday's lesson. Another short one. Again, I can only apologise. I'm still at home and awaiting COVID tests for the kids, so I have no choice but to do a video. So hopefully this will suffice for now, and I'll see y'all later on in the week. Anyway, so I gave you exercise 23.1 questions 1 to 6, and really this was just calculating powers. So you were just subbing them into a calculator. So for example, for this one here, instead of for 2 to the power of 4, you were just doing 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 and putting your answer in here, and so on. So what I've done for these, and if the teacher's happy to do so, I've put the answers out on the right hand side, so you can self-correct your work. So the teacher might pause the video in a second and give you 10 minutes to go through questions 1 to 6 and correct your work from last night. And any questions on that, you can email me or you can ask me later on in the week. Okay, so moving on then from question 1 to 6, then we're looking at the first law. So the first law of indices, there's a couple of rules when you're dealing with indices of what you do when you're multiplying 2 to the power of 4 by 2 to the power of 7, that kind of thing. So and this is the first law of indices. And there's a couple of examples there for you to look at. So if you have 5 to the power of 2 by 5 to the power of 4, you get 5 to the power of 6. Okay? So basically, let me break that down for you. If I have any rule, so I have, say, 7 to the power of 9 multiplied by 7 to the power of 3. What I'm doing is I add the powers. So see the 9 and the 3, I add them together. So I get 7 to the power of 12. That's the first law of indices. So if I have a to the power of 11 multiplied by a to the power of 6, I'm going to add 11 and 6, and that's going to give me a to the power of 17. That's the first law of indices. So it's put down here as the law. So a to the power of p by a to the power of q gives you a to the power of p plus q. So whatever p is, if p is 6 and q is 2, it's going to be a to the power of 8. That's what the first law of indices means. So if you have something to the power of something by something to the power of something, so 3 to the power of something and a to the power of something, whatever that something is, you add them together. So here's I threw in loads of examples there from the book, snipped them in. So if you have 7 to the power of 4, I'll just zoom in slightly, and 7 to the power by 7 to the power of 5, you're going to end up with 7 to the power of 9. So add the 4 and the 5 to get 9. This example here I put in because you have 15 to the power of 12 and 15 to the power of nothing. So if you have 15 to the power of nothing, same way if you have x plus x, you assume it's 1x plus 1x. If you have 15 and no power, you assume it's 15 to the power of 1. So then you have 12 plus 1 and it gives you 15 to the power of 13. So if it has no number on top of it, you assume it's to the power of 1. So you add 12 and 1 to give you 13. This little rule here can confuse people. So if we go out here to the right, I'll just go out here to the right, and if I have, say, minus 3 to the power of 2, well, you know that to the power of anything means whatever's in here twice. So what that means is minus 3 multiplied by minus 3. So it's minus 3 twice. If I have minus 3 to the power of 3, it means minus 3 by minus 3 by minus 3. So it's going to be minus 3 times. It's not syncing there, but it will in a second. So minus 3 3 times. It's not syncing, hang on. There we go. Okay, so minus 3 times. So if I multiply them out there, minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 gives us what? Well, we'll forget about the minuses for a second. 3 by 3 gives me 9. And because I have a minus by a minus, it's going to give me plus 9, or just 9. Now this is where it gets complicated. We have minus 3 by minus 3 by minus 3. So minus 3 by minus 3 we already know is 9. So this part, these two here are going to work out as 9. By minus 3 again, so 9 by 3 is going to give us 27. But since we're multiplying a plus 9 by a minus 3, it's going to give us minus 27. So that's what this rule here on the right means. And you have access to this on your iPads yourself. So we have, because we have minus 2 3 times, it's going to be minus 2 by minus 2 by minus 2. So we're going to have minus 2 by minus 2 by minus 2. So minus 2 by minus 2 is going to give us plus 4. By minus 2 is going to give us minus 8. The second one there, if you have minus 2 to the power of 4, it's going to be minus 2 by minus 2 by minus 2 by minus 2. So it's minus 2 4 times. So there's our first time, second time, third time, and fourth time. So minus 2 by minus 2 is going to give us plus 4. By minus 2 is going to give us minus 8. And by minus 2 again is going to give us plus 16. And that's how they get plus 16 there. Okay, so there's our law of indices. So if you have something like this, minus 6 to the power of 2 by minus 6 to the power of 4. So you're going to have, so if we take this one here first, minus 6 to the power of 2, there it is there, minus 6 by minus 6, and minus 6 4 times, minus 6 4 times. Here it is, minus 6 by minus 6 by minus 6 by minus 6. So minus 6 4 times. So we multiply them out. Minus 6 by minus 6 is going to give us 36. And minus 6 by minus 6 by minus 6 by minus 6 is going to give us these two here. Which is also, when you multiply that in a calculator, it's going to give us 46,656. I don't expect you to work that out in your heads. Only other thing I want to show you today is a bit about square roots. Okay, so when a positive number multiplied by itself, if the answer was, say, for example, 9, the answer is going to be 3. So we have 3 by 3 is 9. You all know that. And we know that if we get the square root of 9, if you throw that into a calculator, it's going to be 3. Why? Because 3 by 3 is 9. If we think of something like the square root of 81 into a calculator is going to be 9. Could we go the other way? Why is the square root of 81 9? Because 9 by 9 is 81. Okay? So the rule, if we have the square root of something, when you're dealing with indices, the square root of something is that something to the power of a half. So the square root of 9 is equal to 9 to the power of a half. The square root of 81 is equal to 81 to the power of a half. The square root of 4 is equal to 4 to the power of a half. So that's putting things into powers. Okay, there's a couple of ways of doing it, with a calculator or without a calculator, and I've put a couple of examples in there, and you have a square root button on your calculator. Look, you'll see it, it's a tick, it's in the small text above the numbers, That one there is your square root number. And the rule, the first law, we stick by that. If you have 25, say, to the power of a half by 36 to the power of a half, you know that something to the power of a half means the square root of. So you see there in this example, 25 to the square of a half means root 25. 36 to the power of a half means root 36. And if you get the square root of 25, it's 5. The square root of 36 is 6. Multiply them together, it's going to give you 30. And there's a couple of examples there for you to look at. Okay. So lots of questions for you to tap away at. The homework is over here on the right in the OneNote. So exercise 23.2, all the questions. Some people will finish it within the class time. Some people might take slightly longer to go back over the examples and get your head around the first law of indices. But I would say finish the class, give me an extra 30 minutes, get as many of those questions as you can done. And I will go through any issues and correct all those with you in class the next day. Okay, thanks, mind yourself.